Bud Light's failures are not going unnoticed by the general population. I think we can kind of already come to that conclusion at this point in time, some 3 months into this scandal. But the way that the media is finally catching up to it and the way that they're trying to run cover for something else also tells you exactly how out of touch they are and how desperate they are to maintain your attention. Let's check this out first and foremost. Bud Light no longer one of America's top 10 most popular beer brands. Yes, and it's been on decline for a hot second, but when they ran this experiment, they ran this survey, it was right there, right in the midst, the second quarter, okay? So this ran from second quarter 2022 to 2023. They did all of their polling right at the beginning of the second quarter, April 1st, and it ran all the way until the end of June. Gee, what was going on during that time this year? No, exactly. Bud Light, you fell off, kid. Lists of America's top 10 most popular beers judged by public approval between the second quarter of 2022 and 2023. According to YouGov, it fell off. The proportion of Americans who liked Bud Light hadn't changed, staying consistent at 42%. Those for a number of rival beers surged, pushing it from a tie to the 9th most popular brand in 2022 to a tie for the 14th most popular in 2023. You already know all the other gimmicks that are in there as well. The reason that Alyssa Heinerschneid, the ousted VP of marketing at Bud Light, decided that, hey, you know what? We're kind of slipping in popularity. And you know what's real popular in the circles that I traffic in? Trannies! Oh my God, that's definitely going to be the flavor that everybody's going to want. Surgically attached penises for everyone. No, where am I going? And why are you just throwing my stuff out on the street? Yeah. As a result, Bud Light sales fell sharply, with the company selling 31.3% less beer in the week ending June 24th than it did during the same period in 2022. But let's talk about the survey. In the second quarter of 2022, 42% of Americans liked Bud Light, according to YouGov, putting it on par with Corona, which is also under the Anheuser-Busch brand, Dos Equis, I think, but I'm not entirely sure. It might be independent in and of itself, and Coors Light, which definitely isn't. The Bud Light figure remained the same during the second quarter of 2023. But other beers saw their approval rise, since relative approval fell into a tie with Pabst Blue Ribbon, Miller Genuine Draft, and Miller Lite. So again, that's stupid, overtly. That one was probably the most toxic commercial that we've seen come out during this entire stead so far. It was the Miller Lite one. Like, it openly hated men, but because the Daily Wire types, your trad cucks that are out there, just think that, oh, it's not attacking women, so that's fine, you get a pass. It's just fine, guys. Feminism it's here, but it's not that bad. It's not erasing women. Oh my God, because all of these women who want equality so bad, they just can't help themselves. We need to come in and we need to act like white knights to save them from themselves. Fucking yuck. For its survey, YouGov polled a nationally representative sample of 1,468 Americans during the second quarter of 2023, which runs from April until the end of June. Quite possibly the worst time that any company has ever had, ever. And you get polled specifically on, hey, how well do you like that? Yeah. Niche in the market where we're seeing that big self-inflicted gunshot wound by one of the biggest players in the market. Would you like to fill out a survey? It found that Guinness, Corona, and Heineken were the 3 most liked beers of 2023. Wow, people really do have shit taste, huh? With approval from 58%. 53% and 51% of Americans, respectively. While the percentage of Americans who said they liked Bud Light was unaffected by the Mulvaney controversy, the beer saw a pronounced drop in sales compared to 2022. So people, it's so funny because there's not a lot that you can learn from this outside of the feelings and the whims of people are, subject to change. But even in anonymous surveys like this, okay, people still need to hold on to their politically correct sentiments. Oh, well, I still like Bud Light. I don't, what they did, that's, I don't want to say anything about that individual, the stunning and brave woman that's up there. I don't really think that it's fair that it's gone on this long, but then at the same time, I'm not going to really buy any more Bud Light, but I'm not exactly against it. I kind of liked it the one time. These are the type of people that are out there. Their vote counts just as much as yours. You feel better about that? So this is the media telling you. This is the aftermath of the media telling you that you can go ahead and you can accept everything. Tolerance is a virtue. But then also, if they're asking you to tolerate everything, if you don't have standards, if you don't have boundaries in place, what's the difference between being a doormat and being that tolerant individual the media is trying to program you to? Because, okay, the moment people step out of line, especially with the Bud Light situation, you can listen to the person or you can watch their actions, realizing that it's not all that congruent. Check this out as well. Sound of Freedom. You know, I've normally been contrasting this film against Indiana Jones, and I got more on that probably tomorrow, but this kind of serves perfectly, especially to contrast that survey that we just looked at as well. This is the media telling you. They are telling you that they don't like something right here, and you're wrong, you're bad, you're an evil person if you like this. Hell, you're even QAnon adjacent if you go and see a movie. Who even talks about QAnon anymore, except for the media types that are out there? Remember, they're still so concerned about the people uprising, about the people getting off that mass media plantation and thinking for themselves. Let's read just a little bit of this. Type the word Sound of Freedom into Twitter. Decent people who wish to live good, happy lives should, under no circumstances, actually do this. See how we're not even in a complete sentence into this abysmal opinion piece, which is not labeled as much, but come on, man. We know exactly what time it is. You shouldn't be on Twitter. You should be on Threads, which is so much better, where you can continue to get banned for hate speech and where they will think for you and fact check you on the fly, and then if you want to get off Threads, you also have to delete your Instagram account. Good stuff you have over there, Mark Zuckerberg. And the search will yield dozens of triumphant reports about the crowning of the improbable victory of the film by that title over the likes of Indiana Jones at the box office this week. I think the funnier takes have definitely been on YouTube, but maybe I'm a little bit more biased. And on Rumble. Then they get just incredibly based and they tell you exactly why Indiana Jones is failing. That's not, strictly speaking, accurate. No, it absolutely is. It beat the brakes off of Indiana Jones by about $3 million on Independence Day, and Indiana Jones, well, it's selling about 2% of its IMAX tickets. Like I said, I got more shit. Oh wait, there's more. It'll be coming out tomorrow. And the Derp of Derpstiny had already been out for 5 days. It was its opening weekend, you fucking idiot, with absolutely no competition until this fucking indie film turns out and people are like, yeah, I'd like to go see an action film. Oh, okay, cool. What's over there? Oh, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Oh, I like the first 3 Indiana Jones films. Maybe I'll go see that. Well, this one also comes with a heaping helping of SSRIs to get you through the fucking depressing fare that you're about to subject yourself to for about 2.5 hours. Or you can go to a lighter fare about human trafficking, which actually tells a likable, relatable, and an uplifting story. Fucking weird people are turning out for that one. But for a fleeting moment this past 4th of July, while the intended audience of Indy's latest outing was presumably spending time with their families and friends. You know, normally, Independence Day long weekend, it's normally hot outside and people for a couple of hours would normally go into the cinema in a nice air-conditioned place and they'd just sit down and watch a film. It's not like we don't have decades and decades of data showing that. And no, this time, everybody's outside spending time with their broken families. Like, you're just fucking inventing scenarios that just clearly aren't happening. Okay, I've been comparing and contrasting the fact that there are successful movies. Hollywood is not dying, Hollywood is not burning. It's just this shit take that the media knows better than the average individual is what is the prevailing opinion that's out there anymore. No, people are starting to think for themselves, and that's why they're so shook in the mass media. It's plain and simple to see at this point. It's kind of revealing here. Okay, for a fleeting moment this past 4th of July, while the intended audience were outside spending time with their families and friends at barbecues or in social media situations, people were out there with their families. So if this is supposed to be some QAnon far-right conspiracy theorists, aren't they those same extremists that would somehow be with their families? Because you seem to label those types in the same way Merrick Garland and the DOJ wanted to label anybody petitioning a school board meeting as a domestic terrorist, QAnon adjacent, if you will. Wouldn't they have better things to do than to turn out? Oh, but then you just immediately subvert yourself by saying, an unoccupied fandom rallied to star Jim Caviezel's claimed the day that a $14.2 million gross versus Dial of Destiny's $11.7 million, which I think outside of Friday was its biggest day. Like, it's a trash film and it's getting the appropriate reception, so just stop it. No matter that these figures require selective, almost willfully misleading framing to allow the David and Goliath narrative trumpeted by supporters. No, we looked at it. Like, it's in fewer theaters. It's getting just about double the amount of revenue per screen it's showing at, and the numbers are accurate. Like, you're just lying. You're lying and you're mad. And it says copious, but there's a lot of coping going on here, as the copious tweets accusing Disney of being in cahoots with a global cabal of high-powered pedophiles make clear. Oh my God. You can't defend the quality of your movie, the quality of your ideas, so all of a sudden you just start reaching out towards the fringes. Yo, man, somebody's big butthurt on this one. The truth doesn't have too much purchase around these parts. Yeah, you go ahead and you go buy blocks of tickets to support and suck the mouse dick. Just shut your fucking face. However, one chooses to slice it. Sound of Freedom has over-delivered. Yeah, exactly. That's what makes it so shocking. You have an indie film beat up an old indie film. You know what? Hey, man, you should probably donate some of those proceeds to charity for elder abuse, but it is what it is. On expectations and dollars and cents, a feat of profitability uncommon in the comparatively low-budget production without a major Hollywood-led promotional campaign. Well, you could point to the wild overperforming box office fare in the past few years, but those are examples specifically that you guys really wouldn't like all that much. Like, take a look at Joker, which I'm sure The Guardian probably had a glowing write-up for back in 2019, where, oh, there's just going to be a shooting going on at this place. Don't go down there and see that. Oh, just have the metal detectors up for all those incels that are going to turn out. Absolutely no attacks ended up happening, but, ooh, what happened down there at a Frozen 2 screening in on and around the same time? Oh, don't worry talking about that. Joker, by the way, had like a $90 million budget, and it cracked $1 billion, something that Indiana Jones 5 isn't even going to get fucking close to if we keep it a buck. So yeah, you have these low-budget, grounded films that are trying to tell a good story, and people go and see them because word of mouth is actually what carries something after the glitz and the gleam of being a part of a franchise wears off after the first week. I am waiting to see the drop off this weekend. It's going to be abysmal. We're going to be able to tell that tomorrow with Indiana Jones. To just take a look at the tickets for Friday, and if it's mid-single digit million, like 7-8 million, you know exactly what time it is. This thing is going to be a catastrophic flop. But the way that the media is trying to run with this, they're just trying to tell you that you're a bad person for trying to see this movie. You're one of those extremists that are out there. The same way they will tell you that if you don't go ahead and if you don't submit yourself to the tranny marketing of Bud Light, you're a bad person. You're an extremist. You are far right if you just want to live your life independent of mass media brainwashing. Myself, frankly, I ain't buying it, and I don't think you are either. So enjoy the beginning of your weekend. I'll be back around tomorrow. Probably be doing a stream as well. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.